This Rise and Shine podcast series has been made possible by the generosity of the Zeidelman Family Foundation, which is committed to the unity and continuity of the Jewish people through meaningful and relevant Jewish education and wisdom.
If our intentions are to create more peaceful homes and workplaces, then we must be willing to make the efforts, even when the person you're dancing with will not appreciate your efforts to change the dance, because most of us prefer the devil we know to the uncertain.
This is Rise and Shine, a podcast that offers timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations to fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note. Here is Adrienne Gold Davis.
As we move towards the head of the year, Rosh Hashanah, we begin to think deeply about what it means to be written or inscribed for another year of life. We think about where we may have erred and what we might do to rectify those mistakes, because we understand that it's hard to ask for forgiveness for ourselves when we're not willing to offer it to others. When we approach the King of the universe, yearning to be granted another year ahead, it helps to have repaired our own missteps with those closest to us and attempted to reconcile, or at the very least make amends, for where we've erred, human to human. This is a complex procedure requiring deep courage and humility, and it's a kind of a dance for two. But even if the person we're trying to make amends with will not engage, then even dancing this dance for one by oneself can change the dynamic and move things forward. Years ago, I learned that in a relationship, if one party, for example, wants to go for marriage counseling and the other one doesn't, it's still valuable to go on your own. That one person's changing up of the dance can yield results as well. And so, it's no surprise then that one of the Hebrew words for forgiveness, mechila, shares a meaning with the word machol, which means to dance. How is forgiveness related to dancing? How can we gain insight from this etymological insight? In his essay called The Dance of Forgiveness, Rabbi Yosef Gizinski writes the following: "We are all part of a circle of life, a Jewish dance that stretches across history, a brilliant and vivid choreography. When I remain angry at a member of my family or community, when I refuse to forgive you, I push you out of the circle of belonging. When you remain angry at me and refuse to forgive me, you push me out of the circle. We are no longer moving in unison. When we carry grudges, hate, and negative energy, we can't dance. Think of it," he said, "like circulation in the body. The heart circulates the blood through the body thousands of times each day, transporting oxygen and nutrients that are vital for health." He then goes on to ask us this: what happens when there's a clot? The blood is not allowed to dance through the body. God is the heart of the Jewish people. Every Jew is a limb, and when I block you out, I create a clot, and the dance is diminished, the movement compromised, because everyone has a blessing to give. We lose our agility, we forfeit our grace and energy. When I grant others forgiveness, we join in a dance of reconnection. When I let go of ill feelings and anger, the obstacle to the flow of the circle is removed, and we can dance together in happiness. Such a powerful concept, and what's more, it reminds us of our intrinsic connections and asks us to choose unity without uniformity, to take mutual responsibility, one for the other. The Emotional Affair Journey, which is a website and a program that sadly helps couples navigate infidelity, defines dance as the pattern that all relationships seem to follow with respect to getting angry and anger in general. It's where one individual acts a certain way and the other responds in their own particular way. The pattern is repeated over and over with the same results. Discussing the famous book, I loved this book, by Harriet Goldhar Lerner, called The Dance of Anger, The blog ends up summarizing this concept by explaining how we need to be aware of our anger and the ways we deal with it. We have to look at anger as a signal that something is going wrong. Goldhar Lerner explained that only when we address the something wrong piece in a useful way will the anger go away. Changing the dance, even if it's only one person doing it, fundamentally disrupts the pattern. In my own relationships, I've learned that when I'm upset, I get angry rather than sad. My discomfort with the feeling of sadness is so unbearable to me that I often prefer to be mad than sad. Our sages said, "Whoever angers is as if he has performed idolatry." Idolatry is a serious sin in Jewish life. But what exactly is one idolizing when they're enraged? Well, one thought is that we're bowing down to our own idolized version of ourselves, that our needs, our expectations, our timing and desires are more important than anything. We're bowing down to ourselves. I know best. This is not fair. It should be my way. You've wronged me. And our sages further said that one who angers, if he is a scholar, his wisdom will depart from him. And if he's a prophet, his prophetic spirit will depart from him. And we all know that when we're really angry, it's as if we lose our minds. And we do, because the soul cannot bear to be inside a body that's filled with rage. It tries to escape. And in the empty space it leaves behind, all sorts of negative, evil things can enter. This week, can you examine the dance moves of your most conflicted and negative relationships? Can you try and change up the steps? Even though it'll feel unnatural at first, you'll see that most of our time we're on autopilot. We do the same things and we respond in the same way over and over, and we expect to see different results. If our intentions are to create more peaceful homes and workplaces, then we must be willing to make the efforts, even when oftentimes the person you're dancing with will not appreciate your efforts to change the dance. Often they'll try to get you to behave as you've always been, because most of us prefer the devil we know to the uncertain. But if we're asking our Creator for another year, and we have a plan or a strategy in place for how that year will be more productive, more peaceful, more loving, then our chances improve exponentially. So when you go out and buy your new outfits for Rosh Hashanah, don't forget to buy new dancing shoes. Now you're going to have to work them in, but I promise you, they'll become comfortable the more you wear them. Happy dancing.
Thanks for listening to Rise and Shine. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Momentum Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join Adrienne again next time for more timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations that fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note.
This podcast was sponsored by the Zeidelman Family Foundation. Spread the wisdom. Inspire Jewish individuals around the globe by supporting Momentum's podcasts. To sponsor, contact podcast@momentumunlimited.org. You're listening to a Momentum podcast. For unlimited inspiration, wisdom, and empowerment, visit momentumunlimited.org.